Okay, we got a question from Jordan. First, I'm interested in learning the Olympic lifts. I've talked to a coach in my city, but the cost of their gym and coaching is prohibitive at this moment. Do you think it's viable for someone to teach themselves the Olympic lifts on online and tutorials? That's kind of how me and Marty Gallagher learned them, so I would say, yeah, you can. And it would be better to pay the price up front and be taught properly. If it's relevant, I am a 28-year-old male with around 8 years experience in gym, doing mostly powerlifting, bodybuilding style training. Okay, that's question number one. Yeah, I mean, I taught myself the Olympic lifts, and then the first time I trained with Dick Notmeyer, he and Pete Hoffman sort of made fun of my technique. Is it worth learning it correctly in the beginning? Yeah. The thing is, too, if you can't afford the gym membership, can you afford to have a couple of sessions? I think you can learn a ton online. I think so. But the problem is you don't have that real-time feedback, that loop. I have a thing called the inner circle, and I've coached, a third of the members this year how to do the Olympic lifts, basically with them videoing and us commenting. So it is possible. They're much older than you are. Some of them have some real mobility and flexibility issues, but they got in and they tried. So I think you can learn with some feedback, even though it's going to be delayed because of, you got to take the movie, you got to take the film, you got to, send it to the person has to watch it and send it back. When I was at Utah State, I used to send my workouts to Dick Notmeyer. I would mail them to him, and he would read them and mail me back his insights. And that usually took about 2 weeks. By the time I got, or 3 weeks, by the time I got the letter, I was usually doing something else already anyway. But it was still great to have those letters, and I have a lot of them still. The instant feedback of learning the Olympic lifts helps a lot. But, here's the deal, as I say this all the time, Jordan. In 5 years, you're going to be 33. And if you learn the Olympic lifts, in 5 years, you'll be 33 and you know the Olympic lifts. If you don't, in 5 years, you'll still be 33, but you won't know the Olympic lifts. And I know that sounds silly, but I think there's truth to it. I would learn them, and I would use the online resources. I would use books. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of Tommy Kono's weightlifting Olympic style. I think that's the best book for a beginner. However, it's really hard to find. I wouldn't pay the money they want. I have a lot of books over there on my shelf on Olympic lifting. There's a lot of good resources on the internet now. By the way, the best parts of Tommy Kono's work can be found on a website called The Titan Slacks of Denzo Ban. And I'm serious, that's the name of it. It's a marvelous resource and well worth your time. Type in on the search engine, Tommy Kono. Again, getting back to John Powell, I've got John's notes from the Olympics back here. I'm just going through his Olympic preparation notes. And, you'll see something simple, arch back in the discus throw. Arch back is a standard thing for the Olympic lifts. So if you don't learn posture when you go into the Olympic lifts, that'll probably be the thing that you'll get hammered on the most by a good coach. Your posture, your catch positions, you're staying tall. We used to call it joint by joint lockout, where all the joints stack. I've heard that phrase used recently too, stacking the joints. So I think you can. But there's your first question. Jordan, just for the record, you asked the second question. I don't want to answer it now, but if you would email the podcast, maybe you and I can have a telephone call. It's a question, gentle listener. It's a personal question, and I'm in no place right now to answer it. Okay, thank you.